Good morning, class 8th. So, today I'm gonna start your chapter number 4, which is known as materials, metals, and non metals. So, basically, all the materials can be classified into two groups, either these are metals or non metals. Why these are called so? Reason being, they have different kind of the physical properties and the chemical properties. In this chapter I'll discuss with you different kinds of the physical properties of metals and non-metals, as well as their chemical properties. So if I'm talking about physical and chemical, what does these two terms means? Actually, physical means the outer appearance. Physical property is the characteristic, and physical is the outer characteristics, means the outer qualities of a material. So if we see anything from the outside, what does the things which are appearing, like their state is visible, their color is visible, their hardness is visible, all these are known as physical properties. Chemical properties, on the other hand, chemical means something which is related to the internal structure or their interaction with the other substances. So in chemical properties we will discuss about the metals and metals. When these combine with any other substance, what is formed and what are the chemical reactions or chemical changes which take place. So in this chapter we will discuss these two things, chemical and physical property. On the basis of that, you will see that how the metals are different from the non-metals. So if I talk about the metals, first of all I am going to discuss the metals. So metals always form positive ions. What does it mean? That metals, any metal, if any metal is going to lose electron, then it will form a positive ion like Na plus, K plus, Ca double plus. Okay, so if anything, like if it is written like this, sodium, this is the symbol of sodium, and on that plus sign is written, that means it is a ion, and this ion, Na plus ion, sodium ion, is positive. Okay, other than that, one more characteristic can be seen, which is known as their valency. Valency is the number of electrons present in the outermost shell. If we talk about any substance, either metal or the non-metal, these have such kind of structure. This portion, this inner portion, is known as nucleus. Inside the nucleus, proton and neutrons are present. These are two kinds of the subatomic particles, and on these path some electrons are present. So the outermost shell, means if in this case this is the second shell or the path, in this path any number of electron which is present, it is known as their valence electron, and in the same manner they have the valency electrons are basically, in the case of metals, these have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence shell, that is the outermost shell. Okay, now you see the occurrence of the metals. Occurrence wise means where these are found and in what manner these are found. Mostly the metals are found in the combined state. Why is it so? Because all the metals are very active, very reactive. So these are always found in the combined state. Like if I talk about the sodium, this is the best example I can give you. That is common salt NaCl. So it is found in a combined state, means sodium is not found in isolation, it is always found attached with the calcium, chlorine, sorry. So in this is one example which I gave you. So all the metals are found in a combined state because these are very reactive, but there are some exceptions also, like platinum, gold, silver. These are not found in a combined state, actually these are found in the native state because these are not very reactive. So these are found in a, these are also known as noble metals because these are less reactive, that is why these are found in a free state, you can say. So these all the metals are found in their sulfates, carbonates, nitrates, chloride form or oxide form. If I talk about the non-metals, non-metals are basically, these are going to form the negative ions. These always form the negative ion. Like if oxygen is going to split, it will, sorry, if oxygen is going to take one electron, then it will form O minus, okay, plus O minus, or 2 O minus, okay. So like if I am talking about carbon dioxide, carbon is a non-metal, oxygen is also a non-metal. If it is going to split, then it will form CO minus. So these always form negative ions, and they in their valence shell, that is in their outermost shell, the number of electrons which are present are 4, 5, 7 or 6. These many of electrons are present in their valence shell. Now let us see some more properties of the metals and non-metals. First of all, I'm going to discuss the physical properties. So first property which I'm going to discuss is the physical state of any matter. You know, these are found in 3 states only: solid, liquid or gases. So if I talk about the metals, all the metals are found in solid state only, okay. Exception is there. What are the exceptions? Mercury is a kind of a metal which is found in liquid state. One more example is there, gallium, which you have not seen, but it is also found in a liquid state. Mercury, you have seen that it is present in the thermometers and it is in the liquid form. It is also a metal. So all the metals are found in solid state except mercury and gallium. On the other hand, non-metals are found in all 3 states: solids, liquids and gases. All 3 states are present here, and you can see in this diagram also iodine, sulfur. These are the non-metals which are found in a solid state. Chlorine and oxygen, these are found in gaseous state. Bromine is a liquid kind of a non-metal. So you can conclude that these all the non-metals are found in all 3 states, means solids, liquids and gases. Hardness is a property by which anything can be compressed or not compressed by applying the force. So all the metals are hard in nature, but again there is exception: sodium and potassium. These are the 2 metals which are not hard in nature. These can be cut easily by a knife. If I talk about the non-metals, all the non-metals are soft except diamond. Diamond, you know, it is a kind of a hardest matter which is present on the earth, and this diamond is actually a kind of carbon. It is formed by the carbon. So it is a kind of a non-metal which is hard in nature. Except this, all the non-metals are soft. Luster is basically the shine present on any substance. So all the metals, you have seen all the metals, gold, platinum, silver, all the metals, even the iron has a kind of shine. All the metals are shiny, but potassium, but if I talk about this non-metals are dull in appearance. They do not have any shine except graphite and iodine. You can see these are the crystals present. These are shiny. And graphite which is present in the lead of the pencil, it is also having a kind of shine. Melting and boiling point. What are these terms? Melting point means the temperature at which any substance melts, and boiling point means the temperature at which any substance boils or changes into the vapor. So all the metals are having high melting and boiling point except sodium and potassium, and all the mercury is also having a low boiling point. All the non-metals are having low melting and boiling point except graphite, which has a high melting point, and silicon and boron are the two non-metals which have high boiling point. See, one another physical property we have, which is known as malleability. Malleability is a kind of property by which any material can be changed or converted into a thin sheet. It can be converted into a thin sheet. That property is known as malleability. Means if we are going to hammer any substance, it is going to change in a thin or thinnest sheet. So that property is known as malleability. So all the metals are the malleable metals. You have seen aluminum foil, which we use for the packing of the food, which is a metal, which it is very thin. Gold and silver are the best kind of the metals which can be converted into thinnest sheets. Non-metals on the other hand, these are non-malleable because these are very brittle. If you hammer them, these will be broken into the powder form. So non-metals are actually non-malleable, they are brittle in nature. Then comes the next property, which is known as ductility. Ductility is actually the property by which any material can be converted into wire. It can be stretched to form a wire. It can be a thin wire, it can be a broad kind of wire. So all the metals are ductile in nature. They can be converted into thin wires. You have seen the copper wires, the aluminum wires, or the iron wires, gold, silver wires. So all the metals are actually ductile in nature, means these can be converted into thin wires. But non-metals are non-ductile because as I told you, these are brittle in nature. So if you try to stretch them, these will be broken down. They are not going to convert into any kind of the wire form. Tensile strength, this is the another property. What is the meaning of tensile strength? Basically the amount of weight anything can have, can carry. So all the metals are actually, they are having a kind of these are hard, these are ductile also, these are malleable also. That is the reason they can carry a lots of load on them. These are not going to break so easily. So you can say there that their tensile strength is quite high. Other than that, zinc and arsenic are two kinds of the metals with their tensile strength is little low. But on the other hand, non-metals, all the non-metals are going to have very low tensile strength. You cannot hold anything by the non-metal. Conductivity, conductivity can be of anything. It can be the conduction of the heat, it can be the conduction of the electricity. So all the metals are actually the good conductors of the heat and electricity both. But all the non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. There is one exception, that is graphite. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity, means it can pass electric current through this. There are some more properties. Okay, some more properties are present. There is one more property, that is sonorous or the sonority. Sonority is actually the kind of property by which any substance can produce a sound when it is stuck by any hard object. When you are beating anything by a hard object and if it is producing a kind of sound, then that property is known as sonority. So all the metals are sonorous in nature, means they can produce a sound. You have seen the metal bells which are present in the your doorbell, which is having a metal covering. This you have studied in class 7th. So by when it is stuck by a tong, it produces a sound, ting tong. So all the metals are actually sonorous in nature, means they produce a sound. But if you are going to beat any kind of the non metal, these are not going to produce any sound. So I think I'm gonna stop here. Tomorrow I'll discuss with you the chemical properties of metals and non-metals, displacement, reaction, and what are the uses of the metals and non-metals. If you have any confusion, you can ask in the class. Thank you, class.